A damn good time.
I can't wait to tell Justin about what happened today.
Oh, me too. I cannot. We got some good stuff for you tonight, Justin.
Awesome.
All right, we are live.
Are we live?
Yes.
Are we?
Hold on, there we are. Good evening.
Hello,
everybody. It's me, Axel Lazuli, joined tonight by MugiMikey, animator, and j0tpla, fellow streamer. And tonight we're going to be having some great conversations, playing some Doom. We're going to be talking about some FPS genre shooter information, platformers, and ripping and tearing. How you doing tonight, Justin?
Doing good. How are you guys?
Good, good.
I'm doing swell.
Get my lipstick on. So what happened today, Mikey?
You want me to tell it right now?
I don't know if I can wait for Justin's reaction.
Like right off the bat, that's the first thing. Okay. I'll tell you. Okay,
I'll go ahead and start playing.
We had Chick-fil-A for dinner. And I went to go pick it up. I placed an online order, right? A mobile order.
Right.
When I pulled up into the drive-thru, I had the window down because I needed to tell the lady that, I ordered online. But the guy next to me, there was this boomer next to me who was yelling at the worker. They're like, "What do you mean you don't have hamburgers? That's fucking stupid."
No.
Yes, I'm fucking serious. Like, what do you mean you don't have hamburgers? That's fucking stupid.
He said it like a Roy voice.
No, yeah, it was a New York accent. Yes.
It was like legit Roy. Like,
yes, and he was old as fuck, dude. Yes.
Even Chick-fil-A ain't got no fucking burger.
Yeah, exactly.
And good evening, chat. Good to see you guys. Hello, Doomboy, Heather Johnson, Kermo, Lux, Sonic Stefan, and Sleesa. There's no burgers here tonight. Only Chick-fil-A.
Ain't the fucking burger at the Chick-fil-A. Get me out of this drive-thru.
They're like, sir, we actually don't sell burgers. We sell chicken. And it's like right across the street. There's a Burger King and a McDonald's right there.
Yeah, why did he go to the Chick-fil-A?
I don't fucking know. Maybe because he liked Chick-fil-A.
Give me burgers, give me fries, onion rings.
Lux said, "Nice shirt, Mikey. Nice outfit, Axel."
Thank you very much, Lux. I appreciate that.
And nice shirt, Justin. We know you're wearing something cool.
Justin, I know you are.
I'm wearing one of my shirts I made, actually.
Oh, cool.
Right, nice.
Dude, that's awesome. All right, I got the map up here. So today we are resuming with more Doom. I think we're chapter 4 or 5 out of 9. So
there we go.
Yes.
And you know what? We can go ahead and jump right into. But go ahead.
Really quick, I just wanted to say he ended up getting Chick-fil-A, but he was really, really mad that they didn't have hamburgers. He was really
wanted a burger from Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, dude.
Dude.
Maybe. Hear me out.
And I was like, Axel, you missed it.
Hear me out.
One day you chose not to go with me.
Well, I mean, I have to get done what I gotta get done. But hear me out. What if this old man was a time traveler? Hear me out. What if he was a time traveler and in the near future, Chick-fil-A sells chicken burgers?
Chicken burgers?
Chicken burger! Chicken burger! Ooh, look at this, dude. We got some. The heart is like. This is like squeezing raw ground beef in your hands.
Yeah, they're making the chicken burger.
Ooh, look at them!
For the chicken burger.
Doom didn't like the idea of chicken. Whoa. What's hurting me?
Yeah, what the hell is going on? Are you being chased?
No. The place is...
Oh, you got a timer. You gotta get out of there.
I know, I see that.
Oh shit, the whole place is gonna...
Yeah, the whole place is blowing.
I gotta be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'm repulsed at the idea of the chicken burger.
Yeah, that sounds...
You would be.
I'm with you on that, Justin. That sounds terrible. That sounds awful.
I'd rather eat some Doom goop.
Ew! Some fucking Doom goop? Really, bro?
Doom goop, yeah. Than a chicken burger.
I'd rather eat the shit out of one of those guys' assholes directly. Than eat...
Oh, man, I'll take the chicken burger, my dude.
What? I thought I was being cool by fitting in.
No.
Alright, I gotta ask though, like, what the hell is a chicken burger? Like, what would that consist of?
It's definitely it's literally a patty of chicken with ground chicken meat. That's what it is. It looks like a burger.
It's imitation burger.
It's an imitation burger, but with chicken, my dudes.
So, okay, I have one more burger-related story, since we're on the topic of burger.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. I think I know what you're talking about.
I'm ready. I'm ready for your burger topic.
He probably knows the story because I've told the story like
It's a good one.
I'm ready
It's
to
a good
hear
one.
the
It's a
story.
It's a good one.
Inky Kitten says, "What did I just come into?" Well, Inky, I'm glad you asked. There was an old man today at the, before Justin tells the story. Yeah, go ahead.
I went to Chick-fil-A to pick up an order in the drive-thru, and the guy next to me was an old boomer, and he was mad. He's like, "What do you mean you don't sell hamburgers here? That's fucking stupid." And
what do you mean you got no fucking burger?
Yeah, he was mad. He was a disgruntled boomer, and he was angry because he couldn't get a hamburger from Chick-fil-A. Anyway, go on, Justin.
Give me 1 second.
Sure, my dude. I completed this mission. Awesome. I did not gain any event XP, but that's alright. I made progress. I'm happy enough with that, so...
Sorry, people were saying the stream ended for them, and I was telling them in chat to lower the video quality.
Yeah, guys, you're not gonna have that all.
That happened yesterday.
You're not gonna
too.
have that issue on my end nearly as often. I bought a $40 Ethernet cable, high quality Ethernet cable.
Occasionally, it does happen where it is the streamer's end, but most of the time that I'm finding out recently is that it's usually the viewer.
Yeah.
So just all we gotta do is lower the video quality, and it's perfect.
Yeah.
All right. So back into burger, right?
I'm ready to hear about burger.
I just love because when Justin says burger, like he doesn't even make it plural. I know what he's talking about. Like, okay, Justin.
I'm ready,
Go
Justin.
for it.
So, all right. So back in high school, there were 2 lunch lines. All right.
Oh yeah.
There was the main lunch line where you get the lunch of the day, which is like the shitty ham sub or whatever the fuck, and then the other line has got like pizza or cheeseburgers or chicken nuggets or whatever. There's like a random assortment of bullshit, right?
Okay.
One day, and this was it had been there before, but I had never gotten one. But today I wasn't gonna get one, but something happened that was special.
Okay.
On the line, the item of the day, like the special item, was a pizza burger. Now, anybody's like,
no.
Alright, I know what a pizza burger is, right?
Yeah.
It's gonna be like a burger with some mozzarella, some whatever.
Is that what it is? Or did it have pizza sauce on it too?
I'll get to that.
Okay.
So, typically a pizza burger, you know what it would be constructed as. It'd be like hamburger, mozzarella cheese, marinara sauce, and like that's basically it.
Yeah.
So that's what you think, right?
Right.
So it was wrapped up in a way that you couldn't see it. So
like tinfoiled.
Right.
To keep it
Pre-wrapped.
warm.
It's pre-wrapped, yeah.
So it was like a pre-wrapped thing. So this kid in front of me grabs... Sorry. This kid grabs the burger, opens it up, looks at it, and it's like it doesn't look like a real, like what a pizza burger should look like. It almost looks like a fried piece of like chicken, like a breaded chicken sandwich. And he goes, ugh, and he wraps it back up and puts it back on the line. And the lunch lady sees this, grabs the burger, and goes, "God damn it!" and throws the the pizza burger at the wall. Like, I was talking like a perfect hook shot at the wall, into the garbage can, and goes, "Don't do that." And the kid goes, "Alright, well, what was that?" And she goes, "It's burger and a pizza flavored crust."
Man, this belongs on that Reddit. Watch people die inside.
Dude, and like me, I was trying so hard to not laugh. Like, as soon as I got out of the line, I lost it. Like, I went back to my table, and I like told them the story. We were losing it, and like after that, I just couldn't look at the lunch ladies the same because this lady was just like, "God damn it!" and like hooked the burger at a wall. Like, I'm thinking like over that hook shot.
You know,
Like, it was crazy.
And what did she say again? It's burger?
God damn it.
Well, the kid's like, well, what was it then? And she goes, it's burger and a pizza flavored crust.
God, my cheeks hurt already.
Oh, you know,
Holy shit.
there was a period when I was in high school and I actually worked with the lunch ladies during my study hall, like washing dishes so that I could have,
You did?
so I could earn lunch. Yeah, I did. I was
What?
I was earning my lunch.
God,
Yeah.
is that what they did for kids, like to get
No,
free lunch?
my
in school?
parents-
You had to fucking
My
do
parents
dishes?
we didn't qualify for free lunch, but they didn't have money.
Do dishes, poor kid.
My mom wasn't. They had laid off a bunch of people from the casino industry at the time because, you know, slots were like starting to take over and shit, like local slots. And so
Yeah.
people weren't really going to the big name casinos anymore. And so, you know, et cetera, you can fill in the rest. But my mom, how do I actually get in here now? All right. No, I don't need another one. And so my mom, basically, I didn't have any money for lunch, so I didn't want to fucking eat PB&J every day. I wanted a real deli sandwich. So I went ahead and I started doing dishes, but the lunch ladies were actually, they told really funny stories. Dude, I mean, just some of the shit I would hear working back in the kitchen. They would always give me free cookies and shit. Like, they're like,
Yeah.
you're so nice. We really appreciate your help. Like, they're just such grateful people. You know, it's amazing how much our lunch people and like our cleaning staff, they're just everyday people. They have their breaking points.
There's a reason why they really do appreciate people when they're nice to them, though. And I know because I worked on that end of it too.
Yeah.
You know? And it's because everybody is literally an asshole. Like, talks down to them all the time. It's really bad.
That's
So
just,
that-
it's ridiculous.
When you do meet people that are like grateful for it, you tend to want to help them more than
Yeah.
you would
Yeah.
other.
Yeah.
And they
So-
would always play music, and back in the kitchen after the lunch hour was, you know, as I was cleaning, they were making food and whatever.
And that was
whatnot.
where we went to high school?
No, it was my first high school, and
right.
so I guess I got some kind of I got a Sentinel training armor here. This looks cool. This is what I wanted. How do
Are you trying to beat the fuck out of it?
I want it. I'm trying to trying to grab it. I don't know how to. It's not like registering. Maybe I gotta go. How do
Jump into it.
Yeah. So
I
I was
the fucking pinata.
they would
hanging
always
up
play
there?
music. They would always play music, and at one time I was playing this Aerosmith song, and the ladies were like, "Why did you put on?" They let me put on the song. They let me have a choice. Usually they have their choices. They didn't usually let me pick. I was just there, but they let me pick, and I put on this song, this Aerosmith song. I'm trying to remember what it was, but oh well, I'll get this later. And I'm trying to remember what it was, but it was essentially like a song about, like, you know, aging, and like it was actually kind of a sad song, but I don't know, I like the sound of it. And they were like, "Why did you put on this sad ass song? Why did you put on this sad ass song? Here, have another cookie before you go to class, kid."
Wow.
God.
Oh. So, alright, I gotta go
Holy
backward.
shit.
Oh,
God. But no, dude, that's hilarious. That lunch lady just going, God
Yeah,
damn it!
God damn it! I wish I could figure out how to get that suit, though. I actually kind of want
And
it.
just throws the burger. I wonder if that's
Oh,
that's
we'll
how
move
she
on.
disposed of food.
Dude, she was just so angry though. Like, I wish I was over exaggerating the God damn it, but like that's really what it was.
Jeez.
Man, okay, this isn't as bad as, you know, that story, but when I was in middle school, we the principal would often come into the lunchroom, and he would stand around and just monitor everything, and he'd just make sure everything was going on.
I forgot about that.
He'd make sure that everything was cool, you know, everything. I sat with some kids, right? And
no.
you know, like when you eat string cheese, it comes in a clear wrapper.
Yeah.
Now, after you eat string cheese, or at least you take the string cheese out of the wrapper, right?
Yeah.
You can kind of like fold it in and then like go like that. And if you do that, you can actually like use it to launch things. So basically, if you put like a piece of food in the middle of the wrapper and treat it like a slingshot, you can launch some food. So there's this kid. His name was Lucas, and he would do that all the time. he would get like cups of fruit, like that had like cups of cut peaches and stuff. And he would just randomly launch the food into the lunchroom.
Oh my god!
Almost done. One day,
I thought that was it.
No, one day the kid put like a whole slice of cheese on there, on the string cheese wrapper, and launched it. And he launched it, and it landed on the principal's shoulder.
What the fuck? Was he aiming for that?
No.
Oh.
The principal's like, huh?
Where did that come from?
Who did that?
So there used to be this lady that would patrol, and this was our high school, the same one you went to. Okay. And there used to be this rounder lady who was like the security patrol during lunch, and she would always pick up spare change. So eventually kids kind of caught on to this.
With it or something?
I don't know, but I know she liked to gamble because she talked to me once about my parents working for the casinos.
Okay.
And she would always stop to pick up change, and so the kids started super gluing fucking quarters to the floor, and her big ass would like bend over, and she would be scraping these goddamn quarters off the floor. I'm like, you go, lady. I felt so bad sometimes when I would like watch her.
That's funny.
Like, what the fuck?
Oh god. But that reminds me though, that Lucas kid, he was a troublemaker. He was also in my English class. This was back when kids would like grind up Smarties into powder.
What the fuck?
They snorted it in class. But anyway,
I remember people doing.
Yeah, that was so fucking weird.
Stupid.
Yeah, they would take like the Smarties candy, grind it up with their textbook, and just go like right on the desk.
They would do the same thing with Pixie Sticks. Yeah.
Ah, okay. Yeah, they're stupid. Anyway, in my English class, the teacher at the beginning of the class wrote on the board, "Please sit in your assigned seats." And Lucas went up to the board, and he changed the word "in" to "on." And he erased seats, and he erased the last part of a sign. So the whole time the teacher didn't notice that the sign on the board, it said, "Please sit on your ass." The whole time. Right behind her. Whoa.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, right behind her it says, "Please sit on your ass."
That's bad.
It's awesome.
Oh man, that was good.
Good times, man.
I had an experience once where I was in an English class, and I don't think the teacher quite realized that thug notes are not. Woo! Can I just proceed? No, thug notes are not they're not class appropriate.
What are thug
No,
notes?
not at all.
They explain like the plots of literature, in a thuggish kind of way,
Oh,
like a homey kind of way.
That reminds me of that old what was that? That it was like this website that you could plug in you could plug in a URL.
Oh, Gazoogle?
Yeah, Gazoogle. It would just make it look like a Snoop Dogg was doing. Yeah, it's called Gazoogle. Thank you.
Gazoogle.
Yeah, it reminded me of that.
Google logo, but it had like 22 like spinner rooms for O's.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. Yeah, it would filter it to make it look like Snoop Dogg was saying everything.
Jeez.
Anyway.
Ooh, I got a secret. Ooh.
Oh, this fucker.
A
again.
Mancubus. You got the toy.
When I was in second grade, I remember my best friend actually ran around the playground with his dong hanging out.
What the fuck?
What?
Why?
Hold on. We went from burger to lunch lady to
dong hanging out.
cheese shoulder to dong hanging out.
Why?
Yeah, I mean, it's the next.
I ran around with my dong hanging out in second grade too.
He got in trouble because he would like corner people, like other students, like with his dick. Yeah, dude.
Is this stick up?
Yeah, dude. He would just pull his pants down and just go like, he would just like shake his dick and like kids would be cornered like, ah!
Alright.
It's so messed up, but it's so good.
So speaking of when we were kids,
yes.
I know that the first-person shooter genre when we were kids, you know, it's interesting that it gets so much, since I'm playing Doom, you know, it gets so much flack. Like games like GTA when we were kids would get so much flack for just existing. Yeah, I still feel like the media, when people that don't play video games think of video games, am I wrong in thinking that a lot of people just tend to dismiss they think of either one of two things. They you know, picture video games as either, oh look, Mario, look, everything's a Nintendo.
It's either black or white.
Yeah, yes, everything's a Nintendo or everything is Grand Theft Auto. What do you think about that, Justin?
I think that was the case for a long time, but I think it's kind of changing now.
Because of mobile games, you think?
No, I think it's starting to change because of shit blowing up popularity-wise, like beyond the video game spectrum. So like,
can you give me an example?
Stuff like Fortnite.
Yeah.
Honestly,
like, Fortnite was kind of like breaking a lot of boundaries. I mean, like even rappers were playing it on like Instagram and. Like, yeah, what were you saying, Mikey?
I think that, I was going to say that I think a lot of parents really calmed down with the, oh my god, video games are toxic, once the Wii came out. And they're like, oh, you can do bowling?
Yeah.
Oh,
I know what bowling is.
Oh, you can play tennis. Oh. And, I mean, yeah, that's what I think.
To be honest, I think, like, the other thing, too, is they kind of realize that video games are, sometimes it's easier to just give a kid a video game than to just
let them watch TV.
Yeah, than to actively patrol them 24/7 over everything to make sure like where they are outside and stuff like that. So I think people.
I think you're onto something there.
Yeah.
So why do you think the original uprising against video games originally started? I mean, do you think it started with the first-person genre, like the first-person shooter genre? It certainly wasn't Mario, obviously.
Well, okay, so video games.
Alright, I wasn't moving enough.
Kind of became like a scapegoat for a little bit with different things because people wanted to try to find explanations for why things were happening.
Negative things in society. Violence.
Right. So video games, I mean, yeah, like video games were big in the 90s and obviously lots of events happened in the 90s. But one of the bigger things that happened, which I'm not going to talk about by name, so
yeah.
It was found out that two of the people who had been involved
in an early 90s crime.
Yes, they were very into Marilyn Manson and the movie Natural Born Killers, and they played a lot of Doom. And so when people started to see things like that, they started to realize, oh, hey, there's a little bit of a mix-up here.
I think you're really onto something, because for a group of people, like let's say everyday parents that don't necessarily have any knowledge of video games or the video game genre or the video game, like, what word am I looking for? The entire industry is the word I'm looking for. So for people who have like fucking no knowledge of the industry, man, where am I running to? People who have no knowledge of the industry, then this is their first exposure to video games, basically. I need to use my...
Right, because before that, I mean, I imagine if you thought about video games, you thought about Pong, or you thought about
yeah.
going over to little Jimmy's house and seeing him play, you know, Mario on the Nintendo.
And you know, it's funny that you say that because my dad is like 52, and that's exactly what he's like. Oh yeah, Pong. Like you mentioned video games. He generally thinks of one of two things, and he mentions one of two things: Pong and the Wii bowling.
Yeah. So I just wanted to say though, I think that anything that's really new, anything that's new and popular is kind of treated, at least like by older folks, or
my
like,
papa.
Look at Rock. Look at when Rock first came out.
I'm talking about my papa, not my biological.
I know that.
Okay, just
I know he's not. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I mean, just look at Rock. Look at the way that was treated back in the 60s and 50s.
Yeah.
But it's that initial fear of what's new because you don't know it.
It's hesitance.
It's the same reason why when people of another religion come to an area, there's that initial push because they don't know their religion. They don't understand their religion, so they're like, oh, they're different than me, so they're a problem. And
then on top of that, you have those crimes that it's just the religion example is perfect because, we've had a group of people who have committed a huge crime against this country, obviously. Now everybody gets blamed for the actions of a small minority, of right. That. I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah,
I think you're onto something.
It's just people being scared of what they don't know about, so they try to work arguments around that without having sort of any factual information.
Yeah.
So what ended up happening
was... The fact that Doom was instrumental in committing, acts of crime, essentially.
Right. And the crazy thing is that Doom, around that same time, Doom 2 was actually being licensed by the military for training.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that, dude. What year was this ish? Could you give me an estimate, you think?
The licensing for Doom, or I think it's called Marine Doom, was 98.
Wow.
So there was a special modification, and eventually Doom 2 or Marine Doom was released to the public, so people could get it.
Oh, wow.
And it was like a different version of Doom.
Have you played it?
It was licensed by them. No, I haven't. I was reading about it earlier.
So was it for the PlayStation 1 or something?
No, dude, if it was that early, Doom... Marine Doom was like a mod, bro. So it was like the same thing as what you would have done with original Counter-Strike. You would have needed to have... Right, you would have needed to have a base game to mod it or do whatever,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I see.
So,
that's really interesting. I know video games have been used in the past for training, but I didn't really realize that Doom had, wow.
Somebody actually corrected me in chat. Thank you, Peter Griffin.
Oh, what did Peter Griffin say?
Is its own game. Doom 2 came out in 94.
Oh, okay. That's good to know. So, thank you very much, Peter Griffin.
Yeah, thanks, dude. I didn't know that. Thank you for correcting. So, yeah.
I can't get up there. I'm having a hard time.
So anyway, yeah, there were different things with people playing stuff like that, fucking around with it, and people who would have, after said events happened, there were... What's up, Art Hammond?
Hey, Art Hammond. We're talking about the first-person shooter genre.
There was a particular lawyer, I can't remember his name, I think it's Jack something.
Yeah.
And he started to really cut down on the video game.
Thank you, Sleesa.
The video game industry really started to cut down on the music industry, and even violence in movies and TV.
Hey, not to pause you real quick, but do you have any idea? I've been kind of trapped in this little enclosure for 30 seconds, 40 seconds now, and I can't get out, and I don't know what to do. I'm jumping and shit, but it's not working. I kind of can't get out of here. Can't open the door. I can't shoot the door.
Doomboy said check map.
Okay, thank you, Doomboy. Map's not helping. Map has no secrets for me. Usually the map is very good at telling me what to do, but thanks, Doomboy, but not this time, unfortunately. I don't know what to do. I don't want you to lose your train of thought, so keep. I may have to restart this, but if I get stuck down here again,
there's got to be something you can shoot to get out of there. Just I would try shooting random stuff if you can't boost. Yeah. So yeah, that's who I was talking about. Jack Thompson, that guy. So Jack Thompson started going after video games after big time. He was going after like anything he could, and so Doom became a scapegoat for that. As I think Peter Griffin just said, he also went after GTA San Andreas and Postal 2, and he isn't a lawyer anymore. I think he actually passed away.
I got it. I made it out. Oh wow, I didn't know that. I made it out. I just had to jump at the right angle.
Oh,
ooh, hey there, big boy.
Big boy.
Hey,
waiting for his order.
But I actually like wrote a paper about him in high school, and I remember him talking about the fact that the DualShock controller for the PlayStation 2, or that it vibrated, was a sense of giving gamers mental masturbation for killing people.
Oh my gosh!
He would say shit like that.
That's nuts.
Yeah, and I remember like putting that in my paper, and my teacher was
Excuse me, while I masturbate to these demons.
Oh, he is still alive? I thought he passed away. Okay.
He's alive in our memories.
Oh, his thoughts and words are obviously.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That guy went to number 2.
And who said
that?
Number
9s and number 9
who said
large.
that he's still alive?
Art Hammond said it. And
Art Hammond
said it.
Okay, great. Yeah. Thanks, guys, for your contributions. We appreciate that.
Good for you, Sonic Stefan. That's awesome.
Yeah, some of this stuff I do know what I'm talking about, and then other stuff I'm like coming straight off the dome, so I don't remember everything exact.
Well, I was gonna say you also wrote this
can.
paper. You wrote this paper in high school, and you're trying to convey. Yeah, the best information that you got. I appreciate it. Just, the concept of someone having said that the controller is used for vibratory purposes, masturbatory purposes, is to me, it's insane. It's funny.
That is weird.
It's really funny coming from, someone who's played video games her whole life. It's really just comical that someone could have those kinds of thoughts about something I've enjoyed my entire life.
I know. I gotta say this line real quick, because if I don't say this, I'm gonna hate myself.
Okay, what's the line?
Let me get 2 number 9s, a number 6 with extra dip, 2 number 45s, 1 with Kim K cheese, and a large Baja Blast. I had to be sorry.
No, dude, it's good.
And Lisa, thank you very much for taking care of that earlier. I really appreciate it. And Sonic Stefan, that's something for another time. Alright, I gotta figure out where I'm going here.
Alright.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, so that kind of sparked the whole
I think I know where I need to go.
Thing of like, hey, we should go after video games, we should, not let our kids play this, we need to do something about it. Because of events happening.
That also reminds me of like when Pokemon first came out.
Oh yeah!
I think Jack Thompson went after Pokemon too.
How about you guys? Did your elementary schools ban slap bands? Those little slap wrist things?
What do you mean?
Those that you just
the rubber bands, the colored rubber bands.
They're straight, and then you slap them on your wrist.
Oh yeah,
and they conform to your wrist shape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember getting banned for us.
Yeah, my elementary school banned them because kids were beating the shit out of each other, and then they banned Pokemon cards because kids were beating the shit out of each other.
For the Pokemon cards.
Yes!
Yeah, so when Axel and I were kids, that's when Pokemon first came out.
And Justin.
Justin, yes, of course. Gen 1 first came out, and it was huge. It was so big that the adults didn't really understand.
They didn't even know
how to handle it. So what they did was they pretty much banned everything Pokemon. No cards, no games. You couldn't even really talk about it.
No clothes.
Yeah.
No clothes. Oh, yeah. There we go.
It's kind of like The Simpsons in the early '90s when Bart Simpson was controversial, and same with Beavis and Butthead.
I don't know if kids had the same. I would be interested to talk to somebody older. Did kids ever really have the kind of hive mind that sort of began right as the internet really began to
What do you mean?
Like, do kids really have just nationwide interests that were talked about on news channels? Why is my controller not working? Oh shit!
Oh no!
Oh shit!
Oh no!
Fuck! Okay. Sorry guys, give me 1 second. My
Sorry.
No, you're good.
I heard it
unplugged. You can keep talking.
I heard it unplugged.
I got so excited I unplugged the controller, my guys.
Wow.
So are you talking like, did kids have interests that were controversial before video games?
Not that that is an interesting topic. I'd like to explore that. I hadn't thought about that, but I was actually, they're saying my controller died. Did you get the one for me off the charger?
Yes.
That's weird then. It shouldn't be dead. I'm hearing it beep, so it is live. And I'm actually meaning
Axel turned the controller off with her foot.
That's right, Kerma. Let me, well, if I gotta resume on foot, I gotta resume on foot. But it's gonna be a lot harder on my wrist.
On foot?
Well, I mean, you know. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna have to resume on with this keyboard. I'm not really good at that, but I'll do my best. So.
All right.
All right, go ahead, Justin. I was actually talking about, I don't know how to switch guns. I don't know how to.
Or here, just pause it. Let's figure this out. Pause it.
So it's gonna be hold Q for the slow-mo. It should be.
Q is
Art
not...
Hammond said they said the Pokemon cards encourage gambling and a lot of other dumb stuff like evolution and Darwinism. Yeah, seriously. Back when Pokemon was first getting big, I had a lot of friends whose parents were very, very, very religious, and they didn't like it. When I asked about it, they said, "Oh, I don't want my son."
I don't know how to.
They said, "I don't want my son." What was that, Justin?
What do I use to activate my glory kill?
I think it's F and the chainsaw's G, unless they change the commands because those were the stop.
F switched guns, and G. Punch. I'll figure it out. Keep talking.
Oh, I was gonna say that.
Oh, hi there.
When I asked my friend's mom about it, she said, "Oh, I don't want my son being interested in Pokemon because it's from the devil." And I was like, "How is it from the devil?" And she said,
"I'm getting my ass kicked."
In church, they told us it's from the devil, so my son is not allowed.
Hey, 1 second. Can we step back a second? Because like, we were gonna talk about something and y'all just completely changed.
Yeah. Let's step back to that conversation. Right. I think my controller.
Yeah, let's figure this out. This is weird.
Yeah, this controller was fully charged.
Sure, let me go try the other one.
Yeah, let's just grab the other one.
Here,
I'm listening, Justin.
You were saying that. I was trying to ask what you meant about like kids having a hive mind.
Oh, like so many kids like Pokemon on such a national level that it was just seemed ubiquitous. Just it was everywhere. I mean, it took over the U.S. and many other countries and parts of the world by storm. And so
try this one.
I don't even know what's going on now. The game is
like
heaven.
So you're wondering
if kids ever gotten anything like that on such a global, national, even countrywide scale in terms of like hopping on this hive mind bandwagon. Like Pokemon couldn't produce enough merch in the 90s, you know? Well, they couldn't even keep up with the demand.
Do you think we should try restarting the game?
I'm actually gonna just hit Control-Alt-Delete and see what that gets me. Go ahead, Justin. It's no big deal. I'll figure it out.
So it I would say there probably was, but I mean, I think Pokemon was kind of like a first of its kind.
I think you're right.
In the modern world, yeah.
And that was sort of bringing me to my point, actually, that I think the 90s and the internet really brought up, a whole lot of this hive mind sort of culture, task manager. Let me just restart Doom. Can I do that safely?
It spreads faster than...
Restart that safely. I'm listening, Justin.
I mean, we can try it.
I know, I'm gonna wait.
Okay. Let me hit end task.
Alright, we're gonna try to end
I'm just ending Doom.
Yeah, we're ending
I have to restart Doom. Doom is not responding.
I feel a sneeze coming.
Sneeze that way. I should, mute the microphone. Alright.
Okay.
Damn, we're losing the sound. You there, Justin?
No, we can't hear him.
Yeah, I'm losing the entire system.
What the fuck?
I'm losing the whole system.
Oh, there
okay,
you are.
Here.
Ooh,
I'm not losing the entire system then if Justin is still here. The computer is just taking a second to...
It's taking its sweet time.
It really is. Come on. All right, there we go. All right, let's...
Axel. There you go.
I know.
Okay.
Well, let's get that over again. All right, Justin. I'm restarting Doom.
Okay. Stuff's all choppy, so I'm gonna wait a second.
Sure.
Okay. Axel, did you turn it off with your foot again?
Yes. How did you know?
Just give us a second here, guys. I'm sorry. Yeah, Call of Duty, that's a big one.
Updating Steam.
Why?
Why? Welcome to my live stream where you can help me enjoy my Steam update. I love it. I love this shit.
Oh, Steam does that
What
pretty much
the
every time you
fuck,
open
Steam?
it. Yeah.
Why?
It's slow.
Oh.
That is so dumb.
Wow. Just wow. I'm actually genuinely angry. I was having a damn good time.
She angy.
I'm angry.
Angy.
See this Kirby?
Oh, it is actually Steam update time, yeah.
Oh.
It's usually Tuesday or Wednesday night about this time.
All right, it looks like it's starting up on us again. My people wait so patiently. Thank
Your
you guys.
people have been waiting so patiently.
My sushi cats have been waiting patiently for me.
Your people.
Thank you guys for your
they've
patience.
been waiting
It's connecting.
so patiently.
Why are you talking like that? I'm
Because it's
actually
fun.
genuinely trying to thank them for
I know.
being such patient sushi
Yes,
cats.
thank you.
All right.
And you gotta bring out this Ronald McDonald ass having voice.
Bro.
Okay,
All
so...
Go ahead, Justin.
All right, we were talking about things that were global interest before.
Yes, we were.
Yeah.
I think the reason that things blow up faster now is because you just see it on the internet. It's faster than word of mouth. Then,
You're right.
You know,
And
like
before
Tommy. Okay.
But, sorry, I want to say before that it was cable. But go on.
Really?
Well, I wouldn't. I don't know about that. Like, stuff would blow up and you'd see it on TV, but like, that'd be more specific. Like, you'd have to be on the TV, like watching TV at certain times to see it, or you had to rely on having the same channel as everybody else. But like most of the time, even if you're like not into something, you'll still usually see it on the internet. Like something that like blows up like that, they'll usually still have some sort of like vision of it.
Yeah.
So everything gets visibility more than it used to.
And you know
And
what's interesting about everything getting more visibility than it's used to is that we've definitely now have a faster consumer rate of video games. It sort of feels like after about a week, you know, it's for not all games, but for a lot of games, that's it. You miss the window if you're not talking about it within.
Yeah, things also age faster this way.
But what's odd about that is that even though things age faster, certain genres like FPS feel more relevant, while other genres like platformers have become, oh look, it's the way of the 90s, we're trying to be cool. Like, platformers as a genre now have to use this appeal to what's the word, nostalgia. There you go, the big nostalgia. They gotta use nostalgia as a marketing tactic, while the FPS genre, every FPS that comes out doesn't say, remember that game you used to play as a kid? Alright, thank you very much for the donation.
Hold on.
I appreciate
I'll
that.
wait. You moved it so I can't see it on the screen.
Oh, alright,
Hold on.
let me go ahead and fix that for us. We got the game back up, so I could fix it.
That's good. Okay.
Oh.
It disappeared. I can't see it.
Alright, well, we'll go get it. I'm gonna fix that right now. Let me just...
Yes. Hold on. Thank you for the...
Thank you for the donation. I really appreciate that. And is this better? Gotta be over here. From Art Hamden. Whoa! Holy shit! What?
Whoa!
Yeah!
Holy shit!
Oh, first of all, thank you very much, Art Hammond. I really
pull
appreciate
up Streamlabs.
Really appreciate
so we can read the
that.
full
That
thing.
means a lot to
Holy
me.
shit,
I'm not going to lose my train of thought. I'm going to finish my train of thought as I'm pulling that up. Thank you for the $50.
It didn't pop up. We should refresh it.
I am going to refresh it for them. Here we go. We're going to replay that. Can you also...
Hit it.
I hit it. You guys might get that 3 times.
Yeah, why didn't it...
I don't know.
That's weird.
There we go.
There it is.
I couldn't read that if I wanted to.
Yeah, no, we gotta pull up Streamlabs to read this. Holy shit,
We're
Art
gonna come
Hammond.
up...
Yeah, no,
That's
just
Art
one.
Hammond
It's
again.
one. It's just one.
Yeah, you're gonna hear that one more time, guys.
She refreshed it
Sorry
like 3
about that.
times.
I hit it. It wasn't going through.
Yeah, she refreshed it like 3 times. Holy shit, Art Hammond.
I am gonna work on a more streamlined way of
Oh.
seeing these things.
Jesse said, my god, the mic is peaking.
Oh. Well, no one said anything. Thank you very much, Jesse. I fixed it. I moved it further away.
I tried.
What do I
turned
do?
down the gain.
Where do I go?
Log in.
There's no login button.
Here, make it full
Log
screen. Yeah, do
I
it. Or do
fixed
that.
it.
Yep.
YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start loading this up before we stream.
That's what I always do.
I don't usually.
That one.
Thank you very much, Art Hammond.
Yeah,
I really
thanks,
appreciate
dude.
this. Alright, and so I'm going to finish my thought, but essentially I was saying that some genres, like first-person shooters, feel as if they don't have to rely on nostalgia to market themselves. And I sort of wanted to ask your opinion on that, Justin. I mean, you play a lot more other than Doom Eternal. I don't really play a lot of first-person shooters. And Art Hammond donated $50 and said something to help contribute to the channel and keep the gaming streams going. Also, I was talking about how Pokemon was banned in the Middle Eastern Muslim countries in 2000 to 2001. They claimed it was anti-Islamic, pro-Zionism cards, encouraged gambling, etc. Oh, damn. Wow. I had no idea. I mean, censorship in that area of the world is certainly something I'm used to as a concept, but I hadn't realized that the reasons they cited it for censorship were so outlandish. Gambling? Then again, gambling's not even allowed in Japan.
Trading
to be fair, the idea of opening up a pack of cards and it being randomly selected what you get is kind of...
I had that death comment.
It could be pick this game.
Tech issues. It's alright. Sorry, guys. Go on, Justin.
That could be peak this game.
Oh, you need to be able to see this.
What?
You need to be able to see this.
Yeah, you keep forgetting about that. Okay.
Alright. I like this.
Actually, wait.
This one?
Yes.
There you go.
There you go.
Is that better?
Yes, that is much better.
Alright, go ahead, Justin.
No, what I was trying to say is that the idea of buying a pack of cards and it being, randomized, that could be considered gambling.
Dude, I totally see what you're saying. I never really thought about that as gambling.
Poo Poo Bear.
Poo Poo Bear donated $1. Thank you very much, Poo Poo Bear. That means a lot to me.
Let's see what they had to say.
They had to say. I'll get to that here in just a second after Justin finishes his thought.
No, that's all good.
You sure?
Yeah.
I'm blowing up this guy. You can keep. All right, I'll see what Poo Poo Bear had to say. Or what's up, Poo Poo Bear? Poo Poo Bear donated $1.
Just refresh the tab.
I am refreshing.
Just
this one.
Just there you go.
Okay.
And then Poo Poo Bear donated $1 and said, "Da-dee-da-dee-da." It's loading. Hold on.
I'm gonna come up with a more streamlined way to do this for you guys. So thanks for your patience.
Poo Poo Bear. Okay.
Wowie. Wowie, Doom Eternal sure is peaceful with the starry night sky. Wink, wink, wink. Nudge, nudge, nudge.
Yeah. Okay.
It sure is.
All right, let's go.
They probably mean my desktop.
Yeah.
My desktop. It's like a peaceful camping scene. All right, so we were saying essentially that Justin was saying that the trading cards could be construed as gambling, and I never really thought about it that way. You're right. It's just interesting because Japan as a culture, they don't their gambling is technically illegal. I'm not sure if it's always been that way, but I know that they have these. That's kind of why the game corner in Pokemon required you to earn tokens, and you had to go, exchange those tokens for like actual prizes that the Pokemon, like Porygon for example, in Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow. Porygon was a huge like bonus if you could do well at the game corner, the slot machine game corner in Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow. And what was interesting for me about that is that Japan actually uses different kinds of tokens for their game corners. So, for example, you'll be paid out in potatoes, like with a special mark or something. Let's say I gotta keep moving. I'm not moving fast enough. And so you may be paid out in potatoes that you gotta go around the corner, up the street, and then you can exchange these specially marked potatoes.
Whoa!
He just kind of.
Holy shit!
You can exchange these specially marked potatoes for your actual, prize, so that it's technically not gambling.
But doesn't Japan have pachinko machines?
That's what I'm saying. That's what those are called, the pachinko machines. You don't really actually you can go trade they're not going to pay you out in like cash. They're going to pay you out in like special, it just depends on the pachinko place, but some of them will pay you out.
Why do people like them so much?
What?
Why do people like them so much?
Because it's the closest form to gambling that they legally have availability to, I guess.
Oh.
And you can still earn like prizes, and you're still expending money, but you're not exchanging money for, gambling. You're exchanging money for special potatoes. Do you see what I'm saying here?
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah. So it's interesting that that's how they find. You could use spell tears to clear paths. Okay, cool.
Ooh, who's this boy? Oh boy.
So,
it's interesting.
You were saying before about you feel like platformers are at a point where they have to
pander.
They have to pander to the idea that they're like retro gaming. Right?
Yes.
All right. The reason I think that's kind of the case is because most of the people that are making platformers now are usually like indie developers or smaller companies.
Like Ukulele. And
so it's easier to design a game like that than make some sort of big, grandiose thing.
It's fucking Mancubus. I'm listening.
You could do a small platforming game, and as long as you make it interesting and have good mechanics and good game flow, that'll sell like a ton of units because it's cheap to produce, and then you could have it sell for like sub $20 and people will eat it up.
Hey, Diox,
I haven't really thought about it like that. As of like platformers being cheaper to produce. I mean, they do have relatively few moving components.
I'm talking like side scrolling.
Yeah,
stuff.
like old Super Mario Brothers.
Right.
Yeah, not like a 3D game with platforming elements.
Like a big one that comes to my mind, and this was like 10 years ago when this game came out already, but is Super Meat Boy. Super Meat Boy was huge when it came out.
I remember that.
And that was kind of like what blew up indie games for Xbox Live Arcade. Was Super Meat Boy.
Diox said that this light is really bright.
Oh, thank you, Diox. Sorry.
Yeah. Thanks, Diox. Sorry about that.
Go ahead, Justin.
No, you're good. So I think when game developers try to get together and they're trying to think about what can they do
to make money,
where's the sound?
to get some hits out to make some money to fund something, that's kind of the route they would take. And so some companies do that, and they just step up and they just keep making eventually bigger and better things.
Huh, I hadn't realized that platformers are now a more, traditional, like older, easier to make, more affordable way of making games so that people can get their footing in making bigger and better things.
Plus you need less people
That's true.
for some of them. Like, cause I mean, think about Super Meat Boy was made by like 2 guys.
You're right, and and it's funny that you mentioned that because the first game I started building outside of a brick and ball game was in fact it was a side-scrolling, platformer. So I hadn't really ever realized that. For me, it's just I really like platformers. So I like to make what I like. But
there's a Slayer gate nearby, says Doomboy.
Thank you, Doomboy. But I hadn't really realized that was an easy way to construct something. For me, it was a fun way to tell a story. That's the game I was working on. But that's really cool.
Right. So we do. Yeah, Peter Griffin. I was actually about to get to that in a minute.
What did Peter Griffin say?
He was bringing up boomer shooters.
Oh, okay, cool.
Which is like a newer thing.
Yeah, if you want to tell me a bit about that and the chat.
Yeah. So Peter Griffin was bringing up because you were talking about how platformers are kind of capitalizing on the idea of nostalgia.
Don't. Just we'll wait.
Sorry.
Yeah. Let Justin finish his sentence. Thanks. Go ahead,
Thank
Justin.
you.
Sorry about that.
It's all good. Wait, hold up. I'll read it.
Boomer shooters.
I have something important to say. Hey, Jotty. Thank you for the $5 to them, bro.
Thank
Deox.
you. Thank you, Deox. Is he addressing you?
Yeah.
Okay, what's he saying?
Jotty he said hey Jotty in the thing. So yeah, boomer shooters. So the idea now is that shooters are kind of at a point where they've done everything. We've kind of already hit the mark. We've tried literally everything. Now it's just getting to the point where games are becoming too complicated that they're almost not fun because they're just visual wrecks and they play like shit, and there's usually got to be an online component, and if an online component doesn't catch in like the first week, your game flops.
Yeah.
So the thing now is that people want to relive that old part of the FPS genre, aka Doom. And so there's companies that are trying to come out with games that feel more like Doom, which is just running and gunning and just having a fucking good time, no focus on multiplayer, or some of those games do have multiplayers, but they want to hit that old feeling like when you used to pop in Serious Sam, or you play like Doom 64 or Duke Nukem, or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
Because games don't really capture that anymore, so it's a different vibe. Even the multiplayer is like FPS genre is kind of hitting a wall right now because I'm playing Valorant. I talk about that all the time.
Yeah, let's hear about that.
The reason I like Valorant so much is because it reminds me a lot of when I first started playing Counter-Strike. So it took something that was new and felt good to me back then and kind of put a fresh coat of paint on it and changed it up just a little bit, but not enough to make me hate it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying. And that's sort of what we talk about a lot. How much do you change when you're making a new game in a series or a sequel, and then how much do you leave in the traditional what the player expects?
To me, it sounds like video games are starting to kind of peak in what they're capable of.
Oh, I don't think so.
I mean, at least that's what it sounds like Justin is saying that people are feeling.
Okay. I think that at least in terms of multiplayer games, it feels like everything's been done. They're going back and they're recycling ideas until they finally get a formula that works and they get something that takes off and lasts past that first week or the first month of being out.
Until they discover something new.
Because if you have an idea to come up with a multiplayer game and it doesn't flourish and people aren't playing it past that first week or that first month, you're dead in the water and you just blew X amount of millions of dollars on a project that did not sell.
Like Team Sonic Racing.
Right, and then you know what they do at that point? They close studios, they start firing people. It's a shit show.
Yep.
So
exactly.
I do kind of feel like FPS games have hit that wall, where I don't really feel like there's anything else we can do except try and rehash old mechanics until we get that perfect Frankenstein monster of a game. And I like Valorant, but I don't think it's that perfect Frankenstein of a monster. But in at least for my lifetime, it's a game that I think is doing something old and fresh at the same time.
You know, it's
so I can respect.
Yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned that the game is trying to reach these precarious balances, and I think we were sort of talking about one of those balances earlier. Fuck.
Wow.
We were talking about one of those precarious balances earlier in terms of the divide between people and their tech, you know?
Right.
And so people having different technology, basically.
There's a jump pad. Just look down.
Yeah, I see. That's what I was just doing.
Okay, I wasn't sure if that was what he was talking about.
So
and so yeah, we were talking earlier about how much of a difference some people have in their rigs. You know, your computer may be stronger, mine may not be, and yet we're trying to play this game together, and it has to sort of rectify the equity in the speed, essentially. And so you're telling me that Valorant is sort of working to bridge that, basically. Like they've developed a way to sort of equalize the technology access.
So, a lot of games, I'm going to use Counter-Strike a lot here for examples. But basically how it used to go is when you would play Counter-Strike 1.6 way back in the day, so that's, you know, like late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah. LAN party.
If you wanted to play with your boys at the LAN party, it didn't matter really how many... You weren't thinking about how many frames you were getting and stuff like that.
Right.
Good times, though.
Eventually, as gaming would keep going on and on and on, people wanted to get games that would run more frames for smoothness, and they also wanted to always have that one up on somebody to make sure that they could always out-aim them, out-peek them, see whatever they needed to see first.
They wanted technology to bridge to make up for their lack of skill.
Right.
In some cases.
Yeah, I mean, for some people it is kind of like that, and then for other people it's kind of like, hey, I've played with the old baseball bat, but as soon as I get that new baseball bat, it helps me hit the new peak.
Yeah.
You know?
I get what you're saying.
So, yeah. So anyway, people were doing that for a long time. And then eventually we got Counter-Strike Source, and then we got Counter-Strike Global Offensive about actually almost 10 years ago now. It's like a little less than 10 years. And basically the kind of rule of thumb was if you had a computer that ran Counter-Strike Go at only like 60 frames, you were probably fucked. You were probably not going to be able to play very well. And that's crazy because almost any game runs fine at 60 frames per second. So anybody else who's going to hear me say this, they're going to go, what the fuck are you talking about? 60 frames per second is fine for most games. But when it comes to a game like that's super competitive, you need to make sure that you have as many frames as you can so that you're seeing things clear, you're being able to aim more smooth, because part of the kick with Counter-Strike is that your aiming was actually kind of based on, like, the smoothness of your aim was actually based on how many frames you were getting.
Yeah, and not only that, I think we also mentioned before that it has to do with it's not even how fast you can necessarily see with the human eye. It's how fast your machine can read the input that you're giving it.
Right.
So a machine that can handle 200 frames per second can certainly handle the input that you need to enjoy your game, whatever that game may be.
So most Counter-Strike players, like the professional, have rigs that run the game at about 500 to 600 frames per second.
That's awesome.
Which is crazy,
that's powerful.
Right? And the thing is, with Counter-Strike, you would actually purposely degrade the game settings to get maximum output out of your computer.
Whoa,
holy shit. Art Hammond, thank you so much, dude. Let me go ahead and pause and take a look at that.
Holy fuck. You didn't pause.
I paused.
There you went.
This
Sorry to interrupt, Justin, but holy shit.
Very good.
Alright. I know, the night sky looks so good with our graveyard settings here.
Okay, so...
Alright, so Art Hammond donated $55. Thank you very much, Art Hammond. I really appreciate that. And says, another big donation because I've grown to love you guys and seriously want to help contribute to your guys' growth and content. No joke. Hold on. Let me actually, it's kind of like splitting it up. There we go. No joke, being more involved with your streams have been a fun moment for me. It's been awesome getting to know you guys. Well, thank you very much, Arnhem.
Thank you.
We feel
You're
the
the
same
man,
way. We really
dude.
appreciate
Thank you.
having you here.
Wait.
Yeah. Go ahead.
But,
oh, yeah, gotta put that back.
Can't forget.
All right. Is that, and right over there.
Yeah,
thank you.
There you go.
Getting
Awesome.
better at this.
Arnhem is a good dude. He shows up to my streams, too. He helps me out a lot.
We really appreciate
He's a nice guy.
Dude, thank you, man.
Thank you. We appreciate having Arnhem.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Thank you.
Holy shit, man.
And thanks for coming to all of our streams and supporting our community. You know, we love having you. I like seeing you over in Justin's Undertale streams, too. It's always fun. And I like hearing your comments on Pokemon, and that you're a Digimon fan. Digimon, Digital Must. Okay.
I don't even think they got that theme song there over in the Middle East.
So, I'm trying to backtrack a little bit.
Do you mind pausing real quick so I can hear this lady? Dr. Elena?
That knows no mention of the hesitation shown by our many leaders and politicians during our time of judgment. Can he overcome them alone? If he can't, we as a species, all species, will not survive.
Wow.
Sounds like White Diamond, kind of.
Yeah, well, you know, what she was saying in the earlier recording was that essentially, and I'm assuming they're talking about the Slayer, but they were talking about a human being. Bye, Sonic Stefan, you take care. And, thanks again, Art Hammond. And I'm assuming Dr. Elena was talking about our Doom guy here. I almost said Doom Boy. She's talking about you, Doom Boy. I assume she's talking about Doom guy. His blood type is type AB, and he's very much human, and people, like, were referring to him as a god because he's so great, probably. And yet, she's confirmed he is a human, and she's just frustrated with in this recording, it seems, with the lack of intervention on behalf of the government and politicians. I died. Alright, that's okay. So it looks like we got a little bit of plot development there. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
Alright, go ahead, Justin.
So what I was saying before is, Counter-Strike pros would try to run their games at like 500 or 600 frames per second.
That's nuts.
So that they would have the smoothest game possible. You know, smoothest aim outcome, peeker's advantage, etc., all of that. So,
what's a peeker's advantage? You mind explaining that to me in the chat?
A peeker's advantage would be like, you can see them before they see you.
Oh, okay.
So, like, if you can see them before they see you, you're gonna get your shot first. And sometimes it's not even just a visual thing, sometimes it's a server side. So it gets more complicated about, you know, packets and all that shit. That's a whole bunch of other jargon.
Of course. I know what packets are. They're the internet. It is the internet.
So, but yeah, so for me, I was excited because, you know, I've always wanted a computer that could do that, right? I finally got one, right? So I'm like, man, I was playing Counter-Strike for like a couple weeks, you know, until I got into Valorant. And then I was like, man, this is great. I'm running Counter-Strike on low at about 400 or 500 frames.
Wow, that's awesome, dude.
And I was super excited. I'm like, oh, dude, it's going to run Valorant. Great. So I load up Valorant day one. I'm like, okay, so why am I only getting 180 frames per second?
Oh.
What's going on here? So then I'm playing the game more. And keep in mind, the game is in beta, so they're still working it out. But I was getting pissed off because I'm like, yo, I just spent all this money on this computer. Like, I should be getting like at least like over 250 frames, you know, something in that ballpark.
I just hear Sonic going, "You're too slow.
You're too slow."
So then I was playing it, whatever, and then I started talking to my buddies, and they were like, yo, Riot is trying to curb the game so that even if you have a like a super expensive rig, you're not gonna get frames past a certain point.
Oh.
To make it fair to everyone who's playing the game, because they want everybody to be able to play it.
They want to be able to have a good time.
Now, I respect that. I do, because I think that helps grow the community, gets more people involved. It's gonna have a better fleshed out range of players. So I was like, all right, yeah, that's cool. But so one day I was like, you know what? Just for shits and gigs, I'm gonna fuck with the settings and see if I get higher frames or lower frames by putting the game on lower or putting them on higher. And I put the game on low, get literally the same exact amount of frames as I do if I put the game on high.
Wow.
And then I ran maps by myself because I was trying to learn the maps. And it was like, I don't know, I get like 400 frames per second if I play a map by myself. But if I play online, I only get about 200.
DX.
So,
So they're matching, so that everyone's on the same playing field. Literally.
yeah, so that everyone's on the same field. And I asked my buddies who, I got a buddy who has like a more expensive rig than mine, and I was like, yo, how many frames are you getting? And he's only getting like 20 or 30 frames more than me.
Wow. So how do you feel about that?
Well, as coming from Counter-Strike and other FPS games, it kind of agitates me a little bit, because it's like, oh, what's the point of having a super high-powered rig anymore for a game like this?
I'm glad the game like put an extra life there, because honestly, I died a lot falling.
But that's also because I just finally got one.
Yeah.
But I mean, before that, I probably would have been like, "Oh hell yeah, like that's cool. I think that's great. They want to be able to do that." I think it's good in a player-based growth perspective, though, because not everybody's gonna have to go. If you want to play the game, you don't have to go spend $3,000 on some master-ass computer to be able to play
the game. Like, that's sort of why I never was able to get into Overwatch, because even though I had the RAM and the processor to play the game, I didn't have the video card specs required to play the game, and so I was never able to play it. And,
yeah, I feel like we missed that window.
Yeah, and then the community just kind of fizzled. Like, you know, the people who really like Overwatch, they're still playing Overwatch, but the big bubble that became Overwatch, that was all consuming.
Blizzard killed it. Blizzard killed the game.
Oh, really?
I actually,
I'm not really happy with Blizzard right now as a company, but how did they end up killing the game?
Well, this is speaking from my opinion, of course, but
yeah.
I've a lot of games that I like that I really get into, I end up playing them competitively. So I'll either join a league, or I'll try to enter tournaments or something like that, right?
Yeah, you want to test your skills.
When Overwatch was first coming out, I was really, really into it. I'm talking like I was putting like my love of Counter-Strike hours into it.
God. Axel?
Yeah?
DX said, warning, I'm going for max stream disruption tonight, so a door knock may occur.
Oh.
Oh,
well, we better, good thing we got the door open, so...
yeah, it's wide open.
I don't know where
a cat came in.
I don't have my phone. You mind grabbing that for me?
Where is
it's
it?
Right there charging. I see it from here.
Okay, I'll have to keep an eye out on my stream, too, then.
We're going for the disruptions tonight. I like your disruptions,
That's probably what he meant by, I'm feeling memey today.
You know, I'm alright with your disruptions.
I'm feeling really
okay, now speaking of disruptions, I rudely interrupted you, Justin. Please continue. I was really liking your point.
No, you're okay. So back when Overwatch first came out, I was putting like hella hours into it. I'm talking like I would wake up at like 10 in the morning, and I would play it all the way until about 3 or 4 in the morning.
I knew that's where you were about to go. I knew you were about to say you were putting some mean, mad hours into that.
So
sorry about that phone, guys.
So that's what I was saying, like I would get up at 10, and I would play literally from like, I'd go take a shower, and I'd be online by 11, and I would play until about 3 or 4 in the morning.
Were your friends, did your friends play with you with that same level of dedication?
We all did it at the same time. We're all grinding.
And that, and my friends were playing it like that too, and I'm like, yeah, I want to play with you guys, and then I couldn't because my laptop just couldn't handle it. Just,
So, I got to the point where I played competitively. I played in a few tournaments. Like, there is footage of me playing in tournaments.
Oh, that's cool.
And we got absolutely shit stomped.
But the point was you going there.
Right, but like I did.
I'm dying.
I tried to go there. So
Oh, there I go. That's where I gotta go. Okay.
Then I kind of grew out of Overwatch. Like I had some shit happen. I had to move and stuff, and then
Yeah.
Anyway, when all that happened, I got home, and I one day I sat down on the computer, and I was like, I don't think I like this game as much, but I'm still gonna play it here and there. So I picked it up with other buddies that weren't as competitive about it.
Oh, I missed the stairs! Fuck!
Still wanted to play ranked.
Yeah.
So I'd play with them, and we started playing it, and then Blizzard's like, oh, we're coming out with new heroes.
Oh.
Like, oh, okay, that's cool. So Blizzard would come out with new heroes, you'd learn the new hero, the meta would change for a week, and then Blizzard would be like, oh, hey, you know what? We didn't balance that character correctly, so get ready for about a month, the next month, literally being meta changes every week.
Oh.
And it was just annoying because you constantly, if
I
it
fell
was
through the fucking stairs, Justin. Did you see that?
I didn't. Right now on my screen, you're hanging onto a wall.
Oh, I'm about to fall off that fucking wall. You see the stairs, and then I just fall right through them.
I saw it.
Okay,
right now.
I'm starting to think those stairs are not where I'm supposed. They're not really there. They're not.
I just realized that's a plane. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's fucking plain.
Wow.
So Blizzard kept coming out with new characters and new shit, and they just didn't know how to balance the game. They didn't really know how to take care of ranked or anything like that. And then eventually, a year or two later, Blizzard was trying to hop into the eSports bandwagon because that's what everybody's doing now, is they're trying to make something that is competitively viable for people to watch.
Like you said, that online game, if it doesn't have an online component, it may as well give it up. You know, so if it doesn't fit that mold of hey, look, we got a first-person shooter. Well, you don't have an online mode, so your game sucks. Is basically what you're telling me. That's the way people treat it.
No, I wouldn't say it's not that, because people will still play games even if they don't have multiplayer modes, or sometimes they'll look forward to the game, and if it doesn't have a multiplayer mode, then it's not the end of the world. Certain games get that pass. So Doom is one of those games I would get a pass even though I know it has a multiplayer mode, but people aren't playing it for the multiplayer. People are playing it for the story.
For the 20th time.
That's alright.
It's okay.
But he wasn't kidding.
He sent you Taco Bell.
Yeah, look.
Cool.
What the fuck, dude? Why?
Because you're hungry.
Oh my god, dude.
You're a hungry boy.
Diaz!
Alright, go ahead, Justin.
I wanna add one thing. Hey, Art Hammond, Kermo does awesome work. I know you're already looking at getting some work done from him. He helps me out big time and does the characters for my thumbnails. Mikey made my main character, and then Kermo has done my other characters, my my Undertale ones, and he made some for Valorant for me, and he also made the ones for my Street Fighter thumbnails. So if you want to see more references of his work, go check that out.
And you know what? Speaking of going to see more, if you guys have enjoyed listening to our conversations about FPS shooters and just video games in general tonight, and Lunch Lady Tales about Burger, Justin has a channel, and it is awesome. He's been streaming Valorant, Undertale. This week he's been streaming a Star Wars game as well. What was the name of that one again?
Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. So if that's been your cup of tea, Justin definitely deserves your subscription, so you guys should go hang out with him. He also streams often, like I do, almost every day of the week. So if you're not subscribed to Justin, you should subscribe. You should hit him up for Burger. And Brown Ranch. Burgers with Brown Ranch.
Deox, thank you so much,
God,
man. Holy shit, dude.
Dying. I don't know where to go, my guys. I don't know, I don't know. I've been spending 20 minutes, not 20 minutes, but definitely the last 5 to 10 trying to figure it out. I can get over here. Maybe I just gotta climb up. Yeah, that was the last option. Just had to climb up. There we go.
So, yeah, the eSports thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Overwatch really wanted to get big into the eSports scene because League of Legends had been doing it, and Counter-Strike had been doing it, and Dota 2, and...
You're right, I feel like I kept seeing Overwatch tournament, footage, and just the hype for being in Overwatch tournaments everywhere.
So, it was cool. Overwatch was about to get hype, right?
Yeah.
Now, the problem with this is that
It's
Overwatch.
Owned by a company that likes censorship.
Well, that's a whole different.
Yeah, I know. Give me the real issue. I mean,
Okay.
the other real issue.
What ended up happening was there were all these huge buy-ins to get into the league, right? So it was something ridiculous, like if you wanted your city to have a team, it was like I'm talking like sports numbers buy-ins, like millions of dollars to have a team to get into this league.
That will kill. That'll kill your community. They'll feel betrayed. Wow.
So like certain cities had teams and it's kind of blown up, like countries had teams, whatever.
So people did
cool.
like this, or it didn't kill the community?
No, I'm getting there.
Okay.
So it's like, all right, they're announcing a new team. It's got these players on it that I've already seen play in other tournaments, but this is the real deal. This is the Blizzard League, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, yeah, it's gonna be kind of cool. Now, this shit was so big that it was gonna be on TV. They came out with an app specifically to watch the games. Like,
Are you kidding me?
They literally went the fucking like full 10, 11 yards for this shit.
Wow.
Now, what ended up happening with that is that they were kind of like skewing the viewership numbers.
What
like,
the fuck?
They couldn't fill the seats for like the live games.
Was it digital seats or real seats? Oh, the
Real
live
seats.
games. Real
Yeah,
seats.
so like when people would go like spectate the games, because they, there'd be areas to go watch the games. They literally couldn't get enough people to come play, so they had to like hire actors to come sit in the seats to watch the games, because Blizzard was trying to force it so hard to make this thing an esport, and because they forced it so hard, people stopped giving a shit about it.
Wow.
I was
Because
reading.
they were inauthentic.
There was this dude named his name's like Sinatra, and he played on some team in the Overwatch League that like absolutely fucked everything up last year. Like he won like 6 awards
That's crazy.
for his gameplay. This dude literally was like, yo, this game is fucking bunk, I'm going to play Valorant, and he's already on a team, like he's signed. So he left a 6-figure contract and said, hey, this game is dead, I'm gonna go play fucking Valorant.
Yeah.
So
I don't blame him.
People are going, when it comes to like competitive video games, they're trying to go where the money is, and everybody knows right now that if you can make a game that is competitively viable and has potential for an esports
Thanks
scene,
to Fortnite.
then your game will blow up even harder. Fortnite, I'm gonna be honest with you, don't understand how people watch it. I think it is really fucking boring to watch competitively. Can't get into it at all.
Really?
Feel the same way about League of Legends.
I've never tried to watch Fortnite, but I do know a lot of people who love League. And they watch League. They just really enjoy League.
Marino, never mind. Keep going.
Go ahead.
So, like, I was kind of talking about this too. The thing with games being competitively viable for an esports scene is that they have to be it has to be understandable to watch for people who don't play the game.
Oh, okay.
So,
that makes
like,
sense. Because,
League of Legends is, like, really hard to understand, except for, like, the last fight. Because you understand that, hey, this is the big team fight before they take the point. If you go and watch stuff like Counter-Strike, it's really fucking basic what's happening. It's two teams one is protecting a site, one is attacking a site. They have to plant a bomb or defuse it. That is literally the most simple understanding ever. It's really easy to watch. It's just people shooting each other and defusing a bomb.
You know what? It's interesting that you say that, because I watch you play Valorant, and normally when I watch people play those kinds of games, can't really get into it. Don't really know what's going on unless I actually play the game. But when I watch you play Valorant with your group, which I know we're gonna have to sign off here soon. But when I watch you play with them, I definitely understand what's going on, having never played the game. You know, it is easy for me to say I understand what's going on, even though, like, when I see the smoke, the one time I watched you guys try to smoke that guy out, and then they came running through the smoke right at you. You know, I watched as another one of your teammates went into the smoke, and then they lived, but you didn't make it that time, and then you came back, and you were like, all right, we're not gonna fall for that one again. And then, you know, it was easy to understand. It was easy to watch from someone who doesn't play the game. So I never really thought about how important that is to have like an esports tournament for people to actually. It's kind of like football. You know, I played marching band in the marching band, and I didn't always really understand everything that was going on in the game, but I understood, you know, what it was like to know who was winning, and obviously when a touchdown was scored, you know.
Right. So that whole thing, I guess my point of talking about the esports jargon is that's really what's impacting the future of the first-person shooter genre, is how easy it is to sell to people that don't play video games, to get them to watch it, and
Dying in this section.
how accessible it is for I hate using the term gamers, but how accessible it is for people who play video games to want to sink time into it.
Yeah.
So
That makes sense to me. I mean, you know, those are all important factors, and without them, it's very hard to build a community. It's very hard to get people outside the community. That doorway of accessibility is what I've really been taken to calling it. You know, certain fandoms and franchises have an easier doorway to get into than others, especially if you don't understand much about the franchise. So,
and that is why Overwatch as an esport failed, because even me as someone who plays the game or did play the game, if I go and watch an Overwatch match, I can't tell what the fuck is going on.
oh,
It's like I get that somebody's pushing, but I'm not gonna understand the game mechanics.
Watching you play
there's so
Valorant
much happening at the same time.
was actually followable. Like, I could read the match. I don't even play the game, and I could read the match. I could tell when things were leaning towards a conclusion, and when you were looking to win. You know.
Right, and that's because Valorant, the abilities, it's kind of understood that they're tools, they're utilities. It's not like the game is. It's not like you have to understand what all the abilities are doing to when you watch it. Like, you understand, hey, there's a wall, or hey, there's a smoke, or hey, if it's that green smoke, if he walks into it, he's probably gonna get hurt.
Yes.
Like it's easy. Everything is color coded. So yeah.
Yeah. Well said.
I hope that was. I know we were all over the place talking about.
No,
FPS
it's
stuff
all
today.
related to FPS. That I put it in the title. I put it in, you know, so people would know what the topics of conversation were tonight. And I bet even the lunch lady who tried to give you burger would understand. You know, who tried to give your friend the burger.
Yes.
I think even she would be able to follow. So no, I think it's been a good conversation. We're gonna wrap it up here in a minute. I'm gonna make it through the last part of this onslaught of enemies, and then we'll end once I hit the next this next goal, basically.
Cool.
So thanks for your insight into Valorant and into Overwatch. You know, that was a game I always wanted to get into, but again, didn't have the. I was in college at the time. You know, I didn't have the ability to like just drop and get a new computer. You know, let me just upgrade from my laptop here, right? And so I'm kind of glad now knowing that I never did. It just, you know, it's sort of like maybe it's a good thing I didn't get into that.
Yeah.
So
there
will be more games.
So you dodged a bullet.
Yeah, that's essentially what you're telling me.
So you know, actually, this is kind of a good full circle to this. But you know how people like I know you like Splatoon, right?
Yes.
Now,
I do enjoy Splatoon a lot.
I know Nintendo had really envisioned an esports scene for Splatoon when
They're
it was
still
first
trying.
talked about.
They're still trying.
I think part of that is because of it's not a game that would be appealing for everyone to watch. I think it's kind of in that demographic where like it's a weird game, it's a weird concept. You got to learn like, okay, do they shoot them with the paint or do they just cover the map with the paint? Like, what's going on here? Like, it's such an out there game that I think that's what's kind of holding Nintendo back in that department. It's kind of the same way that like they don't really know how to treat Smash Bros as an esports scene. I mean, they're not giving people monetary prizes, they're giving them a gold controller. And it's not even like an actual golden controller, it's just like a fucking gold painted controller. You know? So Nintendo needs to come full circle, come back to that, and like hit the drawing board, try and do something if they want to make that happen.
You know, it's interesting that you mentioned that. I obviously had a falling out with Splatoon. I believe, I'll have to go back and double check this, but well over 200 hours into the first one. I loved the one for the Wii U, but then unfortunately, it's already difficult enough to, you end up putting, you know, and you end up put on just randomized teams. I've never exactly figured out how they came up with the teams in the original. But skill certainly didn't always seem to be a factor. They weren't really sorting people by skill, and like you could get into matches with level people, you know, high level matches with people who brought their friends into the room basically, and you had no say about it. And so there would be the one person who had less skill obviously was, for lack of a better word, a liability. And that was, so you had to adapt. You had to like come up with, give me 1 second here. Alright. You had to adapt, and one way that I adapted was by using the map to sort of distract and deflect attention off of the front lines. I would sneak into their base. I was a paintbrush user, and I would sneak into their base, and I would draw a lot of attention to myself. And then they would get distracted by me, and it's hard to catch me. You know, I'm a hit and run, basically. It would be hard to catch me, and so they would have no choice but to try to keep up with me. And they would get so distracted that if I had weaker players on my team in terms of skill, that I could draw 3 to 4 people, which each team was 4 people. I could basically distract their entire team from the weaker players, and then that would free the people on the front lines to actually like begin pushing territory.
Yeah.
But unfortunately with the new Splatoon, there's no way to do that because the gamepad put the map right in front of your face. Like, you couldn't get around that. So there was no, you would notice if someone had snuck into your base and was inking your turf. And so, yeah, the new one just doesn't allow me to do that. It doesn't allow me to use these mechanics. I can't talk to people. I've yet to figure out a way I mean, you know, one of my friends who loves Splatoon, I mean, he's still playing it like it's the last.
Who is it?
It's our good buddy Brisk. But
okay.
he loves Splatoon, and I can tell because I always see him online playing it still. And yet I just couldn't bridge whatever. I didn't know what to do about having so many people on my team who just didn't seem to A, know how to play the game, or B, they just would bring in lower level people. And I played the single player mode, and that was about it. Like, as a single player game, I enjoyed Splatoon, but as a multiplayer game, I had to hang it up. And I had to put my Splatoon career away. It was not fun for me anymore.
You know, you talking about, you know, having to rely on team kind of reminded me of another point I meant to make earlier. So I think part of the reason that what also affects a game is how accessible it is to A, play by yourself, or B, play with friends. And like the reason that I feel like Fortnite was so big to play with, why part of the reason it expanded is because you don't need other people to play it.
Oh.
You can literally just solo queue, go play the game and have a good time.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's your thing, it's not my thing. But
right.
If you, and if you did want to play with friends, I think the max you could do team-wise is like 4.
Well, yeah, and one other thing I was going to add about Splatoon is that at the end of each match, you were gauged in terms of like how many kills you got, how helpful you were, but what few people seem to understand is that support was important in that game. So there were these little things called sensors that you could drop that when you got killed, you could spawn to, but not all weapon sets could allow you to put down sensors, right? And then the unfortunate thing about sensors is that they take up a lot of ink, and you need the ink to kill, you need the ink to do shit, and you need the ink to launch special attacks. And so what always irked me was that I would spend, while my teammates had the chance to be awarded for their kills, they were only getting those kills because they were able to rapidly spawn to my sensor points. They're able to use your sensor points. You can't,
people,
like...
when they play team games, unless you're playing with people you know, and you have, like, assigned kind of, like, roles, people just get, how do I put this? People get selfish.
They do, and the end of the match doesn't reflect, like, it talks about how much ink you dropped during, and how much ground did you cover.
Did you use the word sensor for the thing? Because the chat is confused by that.
What's it?
The teleport?
The teleport thing.
Yeah.
The spawn. The
teleport
respawn.
sensors.
Yeah, the sensors.
It was pretty easy to understand what she was talking about. Sorry, guys. She was talking about sensors.
And so...
That's like SENSORS.
Yeah, SENSORS. And so, given the fact... Thank you for asking for clarification. And so given the fact that I was using all my ink to create new spawn points for people to get back on the front lines as soon as possible and kicking ass, like, I can't do everything at once. I quit playing that game because it just felt like I wasn't being, as a player, acknowledged for my contributions. You know, I understood that I'm playing both the front lines, an attack, and I'm providing support. You know, I was a valuable team player because I was literally able, in the original game, I was so damn good at that game, I could carry my entire team if I had to. Because I could distract. You know, I could sneak into their base, I could drop sensors, like spawn points in their base. They would be so distracted, most people, in trying to destroy them and get them off their base, that they would, they wouldn't attack my teammates. And so it allowed me to then sneak around and, like, wipe them out and perform those kinds of covert maneuvers, basically.
So it's funny that you talk about the whole thing about, like, you could see your placement of, like, where you're playing, like, versus your team.
Okay.
If games do not have some sort of system where I can see what the skill disparity is, like who's getting the kills, who's doing the what, like, all that. If they don't have any sort of system like that, I'm not interested in the game. Because I like knowing how everybody's playing, and I like to know if I'm, you know, kind of like a weird ego thing, but, like, if I'm better at a game, I like to see it. I like to know it.
Well, yeah, I like to know that I'm actually, like, you know, I'm like, wait a second, this person, I got all these kills, but my contributions don't matter because I didn't lay down as much ink. You know, like, if not for me doing the killing, you wouldn't be able to lay down as much ink. If not for me laying down the sensors for you to respawn to, you wouldn't be regenerating back to the front line so you could get all those kills. So the game had no way of recognizing help or support or, like, counting the ink that you spent on creating respawns on the front lines, basically. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I know you haven't played Splatoon, but I'm hoping that makes sense.
No, I get what you're saying. And even though it's a stat that's, like, not on the board, it's still impactful in a way that your team doesn't realize.
Yes, and I got just tired of not having any recognition, playing with people that didn't know how to play. Why did I spend? And people couldn't see the fucking map. So they don't. Yeah, you can pull up the map, but it's not as convenient anymore as just looking down, like you did with the gamepad.
They don't put the map, like, in the top corner or anything?
You have to hit a button to see it.
Oh, that's...
Unless they fixed it, unless they moved it, or maybe there's a setting I could change, but...
Because, like, almost every game ever has, like, a map that's on like, the top left corner or something.
Yeah.
And all you have to do is just look up at the corner on your screen. Like, you don't have to look down at a device, or you don't have to, like, pull up a menu. If you wanted, like, a blown up version of the map, then you would have to hit a button.
Yeah.
But you would at least get the mini map.
I haven't played in a while, so maybe they've changed things. But
Yeah.
last I recall, the map just wasn't for me. I don't know.
That's another thing. I can't imagine playing a game competitively and not having something like that unless it's something like Halo, like Team Hardcore or some shit like that, where you don't get anything on the screen.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the game just... No, it didn't. Okay, I'm like, wait, did it freeze? I think I'm in some kind of intense area. I've been fighting these guys for a while, dude. I have no idea why there's so many enemies. I don't know if I'm supposed to keep moving on. Am I supposed to kill everybody? Oh, hey. That's cool. I feel like I've been here a long time. Do you feel like I've been in this level for a long time?
I do feel like you've been here for a long time. Justin, you like Vinland Saga? Bro, I've seen like 3 episodes of it. It's alright. Sorry, somebody was asking about anime.
No, you're good. I like talking about anime.
Yeah, I've only seen a couple episodes of it, and I was like, oh, it's kind of like Viking Berserk. It's like Berserk, but like way less depressing.
Dude, as soon as I'm done with this section, we'll go ahead and call tonight. I know you got. Cool. I know you got to go. Sorry for keeping you.
No, you're fine.
I think I'm almost done here because I'm kind of emptying, clearing the room of these large-scale enemies.
Where the hell Mikey go?
I don't know, Mikey. Where did you go? What are you doing? He's probably eating his tacos. Dude, you can eat your tacos in here. Alright, are there no more enemies? Did I clear the floor? Alright, let's... I think so. I gotta go up towards that mark now. Ooh.
Vorko Bell.
Holy shit! You can jump! Yep, you can jump. Oh, I backed into the...
Jaco Bell. Gordita.
Alright, I think I'm about to be done. We're gonna cross through here. I don't know, they're dropping more health for me. I think I could just save. Yeah, we're gonna back up. We're just gonna save. That's what's gonna happen. I think I can resume right where I left off next time. Alright, Mikey, I'm signing off. You wanna come join us for that? He's shoving his face full of tacos. I think he's hungry. That's alright, Mikey. I can end it. You're good. So, okay. Thank you guys very much for joining us tonight. I'm going to go ahead and call tonight. I know Mikey's got a stream, and then Justin is also going to be joining his crew for some Valorant. Justin, are you streaming Valorant tonight?
No, Justin's not joining me.
I said Justin's
it's the way you
joining
worded
his crew for Valorant.
The way you worded it.
That's what I said. Justin is joining his crew for Valorant.
The way you worded it at first made it sound like he was joining me.
Just wait for the end of the sentence.
Alright, just want to make it clear.
To answer your question, I might be.
Okay, great.
I gotta talk to my boys and see if they're okay with it.
So if Justin's team is going to be streaming Valorant, you guys can hop on over and hang out with him for the rest of the night. Justin, you want to drop your link one more time for us? Thank you so much for joining us for this awesome conversation on first-person shooters. Next week, we're going to have some cool, some more conversation topics for our Doom time. And I'm thinking next Tuesday, probably. Keep an eye out for the schedule, and I'll let you know. Otherwise, I will see you guys back on Friday for Animal Crossing. We're going to finish up the Duck Pond on Friday. And I'm going to be visiting Two People's Island, so you can see how they've progressed and the things that they've made. And Mikey is going to go stream. Are you streaming sketches tonight or animation?
Sketches. Sketches.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I'll be doing sketches probably within the next half hour.
Awesome. So Mikey's going to eat his Jacko. I'm waiting for somebody. So, great. Justin's gonna, his link is down there in the chat. If you guys want to go subscribe to him, he's really cool. Go hang out with him and Valorant. He's really good. He's fun to watch.
Art
and I will see you guys next time. Thank you very much again, Art Hammond.
Yeah.
And Poo Poo Bear.
Art Hammond said
and Deox.
he's drawing something for you, so.
Aw, thank you, Art Hammond. I appreciate that. It means a lot to me. I am going to be updating the art roulette soon. I know quite a few people have sent me art that they'd like to see appear, so I'm going to get around to updating that here soon. So I'm looking forward to it. Thanks, guys, and have a great